Hello, Kriti ma'am, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We will start in few minutes. Let more participants join. As soon as participants join, we will start.
हाँ मैडम. नाही, काही आवश्यकता नाही मॅडम. तुम्हाला 2-3 पीपीटी दिले तेवढं त्याच्यात इंडेक्स जरी असेल तर पुरेसं आहे. येस, थँक यू मॅम. कारण काय डायरेक्टली डायलॉग होणं खूप गरजेचं आहे. येस मॅम, थँक यू मॅम.
Good afternoon, all. Myself, Kirti Pillai. On behalf of Matoshri K.M. Patel Senior College of Commerce and Science, I welcome all for 7 days FDP on research methodology. It's my pleasure to call our Honorable Vice Principal Ma'am, Ms. Madhuri Nandanwal, to kindly introduce our college and inaugurate our FDP program. Ma'am?
Good afternoon, all the dignitaries, participants, and my faculty members. I welcome you all on behalf of the Domli Mitra Mandal, Kashiben Motilal Patel Senior College of Commerce and Science. Our college, established in 2008, we offer courses like BCom, BBI, BMS, BAc, BSc IT, and BSc Computer Science. Our research committee organized this FDP on research methodology. It's my privilege to address you all on this event. There are 400 plus participants are there all across of the India. As we all know, research is playing important role in higher education. Research refers to create work which is undertake to increase knowledge. Actually, research is like an unknown journey throughout, although you may be clear with your objectives and your destination, but knowing when and how to reach that destination, it teaches with methodology. Research methodology aim at converting a known journey to known journey. So there is a need of knowing research methodology. It becomes necessary to implement updated latest tools and technologies. To learn this, know more about this, we have conducted this FTP. So again welcome all of you, and I congratulate our research committee for this organize this event, and I welcome our resource person, Dr. Surendra Thakur. Namaskar, sir.
Namaste.
I
Namaste.
would like to invite Mr. Rupesh Patel to introduce our resource person of the day. Thank you. Sir, over to you.
Thank you.
Okay, Miss. Thank you, Mother Ma'am. Good afternoon, our respected Vice Principal Ma'am. Today's resource person, my dear teacher colleagues, and all the participants of this webinar from various colleges. I, Mr. Rupesh Sudhakar Patil, coordinator of ITCS department and also coordinator of this webinar, heartily welcomes you all for webinar on 7 days faculty development program on research methodology organized by Research Committee of Matushri Kashiben Motilal Patel Senior College of Commerce and Science, Thakur East. About college, our Matushri Kashiben Motilal Patel Senior College of Commerce and Science obtained permission in the year of 2008 for starting degree college and affiliated to University of Mumbai. Our college renders education leading to Bachelor of Commerce BCom, Bachelor of Management Studies BMS, Bachelor of Banking and Insurance BBI, Bachelor of Accounts and Finance BAF, Bachelor of Science in Information Technology and Computer Science BSCIT as well as BSCCS. Moving to the FDP, this FDP webinar series is an effort to enrich all the areas of research like identification of research problem, review of literature, and reference management, and objective hypothesis, sampling techniques, drafting questionnaires, plagiarism, and writing a research report covered by all our eminent personality speakers. That's why this FTP is very useful for all faculty members and researchers of any disciplines. So moving towards our first day webinar, I would like to introduce our today's resource person, respected Dr. Surendra Thakur sir. Sir, Dr. Surendra Thakur sir, basically belonging from Sociology Department, working as assistant professor and head of department. Sir has done with MA, MPhil, PhD, and NET. Sir has published 5 books and 1 is in process. Sir done with 11 research publication, 20 paper presentation, and 4 minor research project completed and submitted till date. Sir also done with 13 seminars and workshop. Sir has delivered their knowledge as research person in SRTM University Mumbai, Dr. BM University Aurangabad, SNDT Women University Mumbai, Gondwana University Gadchiroli, International Conference Thailand Bangkok, DV College Punjab, and so on. Rather than this, Sir also worked as a government nominee. Sir worked as a community member of scheme Jagar Janivacha, also worked as a PA for Rajya Sabha Adhiveshan. Sir working as a PhD guide in subject sociology from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad from year 2018. So I consider myself extremely fortunate that we have such a talented, experienced personality with us for today's sessions. Without wasting any more time, I would like to turn this session over to our today's resource person, Dr. Surendra Thakur sir. Once again, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all participants. So I hope we all have a great time and learn a lot from our resource person. Thank you to all. Over to you, Surendra sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
First of all, I'm very thankful to all who are organizing such a faculty development program. So first of all, the organizer, respected Vice Principal ma'am, all committee members, I'm heartily very thankful to all to give me an opportunity here to present my topic identification of problem. And second thing is that I'm also very thankful to the delegates because today I'm getting a chance and opportunity to share my ideas, knowledge, and experience with these intellectual delegates. And I hope I'll also get so many things from them. So, with the permission of yours all, I'll start my session. First of all, identification of problem is my topic. It is the first step of the research. Everyone knows that there are 5 major steps in every research. One is the identification of the problem, formulation of hypothesis, data collection, data analysis, and last is the report writing. And today, I'll focus on the identification of the problem, and it is the first step. My dear delegates, first of all, I want to share one thing is that identification of the problem is the first step of the research, but it is divided in 2 sections. One is the broad section and second is the very short section. It's called as the narrow section or the narrow area. Why? Because I think, as per my knowledge, first of all, we have to select the subject. And then, whenever we select the subject, through the subject, we have to identify the research problem. And that's why, when I'll start my lecture, I'll go through in that pattern. First of all, I'll focus on how to select the research topic or the subject. Then, how to identify the research problem through the research topic. Then third one is that the identification of the research problem is also consist or composed of the 3 factors: the title, objective, and variables. So these are the some small abstractive patterns of this research first step. So first of all, I'll focus on the selection of the research topic or the subject. As per my knowledge, the selection of research topic or the subject is a broad area, is a broad approach through which we have to select the topic. And then, whenever we select the topic, then we have to identify a research problem. In this way, the identification of the problem and the selection of the research topics are correlated with each other. They are correlated, they are interrelated, and they are interdependent on each other. And that's why I have separated the first research step in 2 parts. First of all, selection of the research topic or the selection of the topic or the subject, or we can say that one's chosen subject. And this is the very small area of the identification of the research problem. Means whenever we have to identify a research problem, first of all, we have to select the research topic. And how to select the topic, then now we will go through it, how to select the research topic or the subject, or we can say that one's chosen subject. First thing is that this is a broad approach through which we can identify the research problem. This is the broad. Here I have used one word, one's chosen subject. It means that selection of the research topic or the subject is very essential part. Everyone has to select the topic. It is very compulsory. It is very mandatory. And so it is an entry point. But to select the research topic or the subject, it is not as easy as we spoke. It means that we have to understand some basic fundamental requirement for preparing our research topics. Just like number one is that deciding or the selecting topic of research is depends on the multiple factors. It means that selection of the research topic or the subject is concerned with not a single aspect, it is concerned with the multiple factor, and we have to learn which are the multiple factors. Number two, many times selecting research topics may seem a fairly straightforward matter, but at the same time, it can become a matter of prolonged debate, doubt, and conflict. Means it is not as simple as we can say. Broadly speaking, selection or selecting the research subject or the topic is a very complex process. And so it is like an ambiguous matter. There are so many things are mixed. We have to learn so many things for selecting the research topics. Regarding the selection of the research topic or the subject, we have to take the support of one theorist whose name is the T.N. Madan, theorist T.N. Madan. He described how and why he chose to study his own community, the Pandits of the Kashmir Valley. As per this theorist, we should select the research topic from our own community, locality. But why? There is a question in our mind. Why these theorists say we have to select the locality or the home community? Its answer is that because majority peoples are very familiar with their own community and the social practices, rituals, beliefs, prejudices, stereotypes, and we will get the insight very easily. And that's why the theorist T.N. Madan says that we have to select the topics from our own community or the locality. Now, another second one theorist whose name is the S. Joberg and Nate. As per the S. Joberg and the Nate, this says that selection of the research topic or the subject is like a fashion, fads, and foibles, which may affect for selecting the topic of research. It means that plenty of the researcher wants to achieve the name, fame, and wealth in a short period of time. And forgetting this, many times they use the fantastic, impressive, awesome, dynamic, and the tremendous title. But originally it is in vain because it is not useful. Because we should choose socially useful piece of research or a subject which is more crucial and beneficial to our society. It is essential. Now, next is that one very famous theorist whose name is the Bernard. He says that all researchers should ask the following some questions for themselves. whenever they are selecting the topics for their research. And we have to check our responses with questions, whether positive or the negative, or in the form of the agree or the disagree. And if you are getting the more positive responses, then you have to select, you have to sustain, you have to modify, or you have to decide as per your response. So as per the Bernard, there is a one single, first of all, first question is that we have to ask themselves, and that question is that, am I really interested in my subject or topic? This is the very important questions. If I am not interested, if I am not enjoying my research, it means it is not useful. So first of all, we have to ask this question to ourselves. Okay, am I really interested in my research topic or subject? Because we have to spend lot of time, lot of energy of your valuable life. And that's why this question is very important. Second question is that, is it possible to carry out a scientific inquiry in my subject? Because there are so many subjects, just like corruption, secularism, integration. We are unable to collect the data of such topics. And if suppose we are unable to carry out a scientific inquiry, such topics, so it is not useful. And so whenever we are selecting the topic of your research, we have to carefully understand that scientific inquiry is possible in my topic. Can I select the enough resources? Can I get the important respondent for collecting the data? And whenever you will get the answer yes, whenever you are getting the yes agree, then you have to decide. Otherwise, you have to again think again and again. Then third question is that, as per the Bernard, do I have enough resources to start and complete research? Do I have enough resources to start and complete? You all knows that many people started their research, and after 2-3 years, they are thinking that, okay, I can't complete. And it is a very bad things, or it is a very available, because, but if suppose you have taken grants from the any institutions, like as the University Grant Commission, ICSR, Indian Council of Social Science Research, Impress University of the state, it is our credibility to start and complete the research in a particular time. So these questions are also very important, and we have to ask yourself. And if you are saying that, yes, I'll complete and I'll start my research very carefully, then it is a good things. The next one is that questions, am I ready to face any ethical or the moral problems of my research topics? It means that many times we select such topics like as the liquor addiction, police, corruption, RTI, drugs addiction. And through this subject, you know that our individual life, our family life disturbed, and it impact on our family as well as our community. So we have to ask the questions, am I capable? Am I ready to face such ethical or the moral problems through my research? And if you will get the answer yes, then you have to just be continued. Otherwise, you have to think again and again. And the last question is that, is the subject of my research is theoretically significant? Theoretically significant means it is useful for the society. It is useful for my own career, academic career. So, because you know that so many times, many subjects are not theoretically significant. Means we just get a degree, but data regarding the degree is not useful for the society and for our personal academic career. So we have to think in that. So this is the very simple one short area of the identification of the research problem. And now I'll start the identification of the research problem. Means again, I'll just revise in a 1 minute. I have not focused on the identification of the problem, but the part of the identification of the problem, which is called as the selection of the research topic or the subject, we just focus on that. And now we are going to focusing on the identification of the research problem. Why we have done such? Because whenever we select the research topic, then through this topic, we have to select the research problem, and that's why we are going in that way. So first of all, we selected the research topic, and now we are focusing on the research problem or the identification of the research problem. So identification of the problem. In this sentence, there are two words, identification and second is the problem. Identify or identification means what? Identify means decide, to search or to select. And problem means what? Problem means research problem refers to some inquiry. Through this inquiry, we will get theoretical and practical and scientific knowledge. It means that now we have selected the research topic and now we have to select the identification of the research problem through this topic, and that's why we are using such a steps. Now there is a question in my mind, why it is needed to identify the research problem? There are many answers of these questions. As per my knowledge, as per my readings and experience, we will get proper direction of research. We will get the proper direction of the research through this identification of the problem. Second, we will get accurate focus. And due to this, we can increase our basic and fundamental knowledge, insight with respect to particular problem or issue. And by virtue, we will understand the realistic, multi-directional, multi-aspect view, and with the help of this knowledge, we can understand and solve the issue and make our social life better. And this is the importance of the identification of the problem. Means we are collecting, we will get the ideas, we will get the proper direction, we will get the accurate focus, increase our basic and knowledge and all this thing, and now we are capable to solve, means to understand the problem, to solve the problem and make our social better. And this is the main importance of the identification of the problem. Now, so we will have to identify the research problem on the basis of some important factor. When we want to identify the research problem, we have to take support of some particular basic components or the factors. Which factors? Number one is that discuss with the field practitioner. Practitioners are the expert or the scholars in the specific research field. Yes? Are you hearing me? So the practitioners are the expert or the scholars in the specific research field. they have enough knowledge, experience, insights, understanding of the operational concepts, and the ins and the outs of the specific field. And with the help of this practitioner, we will get the socio-economic background, historical information of such issues. And on the basis of, we can make our theoretical and a practical problem very scientific. And so this is the very important factors. So we have to take support of the practitioners regarding our particular field. Now, second one is that literature review. To identify the research problem, the literature review is a very important part. Everyone knows that the literature review means books, magazines, journals, periodicals, video clipping, research articles, and newspaper, etc. And through this review, we can gather knowledge, insight, and added to the existing pool of knowledge is called the contributions. Means we are improving our insight regarding a particular issue. And with the help of this review of literature, we will get an ideas of the theoretical and substantive aspect of our selected research problem. And in this way, after the review of literature, a more sophisticated and clear statement of the scientific research question is likely emerge. Now, third one is that NGO's report. NGO also very helpful to us to identify a research problem. How the NGOs is very important, because you know that majority of the NGOs are working continuously on a specific topic or on a particular issues. Many of them regularly publish their report time to time. And through this report, we will get enough knowledge regarding our research problem. We can improve our understanding, and we can build up our problem statement regarding our research interest area. In this way, these three factors are very important. They are performing very important to improve our research problem. Now, again, there is one important factor. Before deciding the research problem, certain points have to keep in mind or consider to every researcher. Which points are very important to consider in our mind? The number one is that the research problem should be familiar and feasible. Familiar and feasible. And this feasibility of the research problem should check through the 6 W's questions and 1 H rules. Means whenever we are identify our research problem, we have to ask the 6 questions. Why, what, who, where, when, whom, and how. This is the 6 W's and 1 H rule. And when we will get the answer very correctly, very scientifically, it means that we are on a proper way and we can just go continuously. Now, second one is that research questions or problem should stem from the researcher's mind through these interests and motivation. Again, why the interest is important, why the motivation is important, and why the researcher's mind is important because we are devoting our 5-6 years of our life. We are spend lot of energy. We are spend lot of money also, and that's why the researcher's portion of the problem should stem from our mind, and then we will get energy, we will get confidence, and we will enjoy in this research. The now next point is that will it possible to gather sufficient data from the required number of the respondent? My respondents are available. They are very close to my place. I can easily go there and collect the data from them. The required numbers are available. We have to think before deciding the research problem. If you are ready, if you are comfortable, then we have to think that yes, everything is going smoothly in my research. Then it is always better to select the research problem before a preliminary study of existing literature. It means that literature should be quite enough for getting insight and direction for the research. Just like nowadays, the COVID-19 is there, and everyone knows that there are so many modifications regarding the period of the second dose is increased. Then plasma therapy is not useful. The different comment of the remedies were. Then co-vaccine is not yet sanctioned by the WHO. Like that means scientific literature enough is not available. So when we are selecting such a topic, enough literature reviews available, we have to think in that way, because we have to complete our research in a theoretically as well as practically manner. Then personal insight and experience are directive and helpful to conduct a research. Our personal insight and experience, with the help of that our experience and the insight, we have to modify, we have to reject, or we have to continue topic, we have to take the decision here. And last and important point is that consideration of the times and the resources. We need to completely aware of the limits of our resources and clearly define the time frame while designing our research problem. And it is the very important part of your research. Now, certain guidelines to identify the research problems provided by the different scientists through the all over the world. The one is that selected research problem should not be controversial. We have to keep in mind, if you are selecting a research topic or research problem, it should not be controversial. It not creating the problems in the community. It is not destroying the peace of the society. So we have to think. Second one is that should not select the narrow, means too narrow or too vague problem. Should not select an issue in which research is overdone. These are the very small things, but these are the very important points whenever research or researchers selecting the research problem. The research problem should be origin and originating questions. Problem should be worth to study, means research question should be rational. Means through this research question, the family, the community, the state and the nation will beneficial. or it is very useful to our nation. So we have to think, okay, what are the rationale of my research problem? What is the importance of my research in the society? Then problem should be specific, and every researcher should have certain doubts in mind. Problem should be specifying, and every researcher should have certain doubts in mind. If some doubts are in your minds, you want to do something for this research topic, and these are the certain guidelines to identify the research problems. Now, here I have focused on one research tips, that is the identification of the research problem. But identification of the research problem described in a two way. First of all, selection of the topic, and second one, the identification of the research problem. But one thing is very important, that originally this research step means this is the first research step. Identification of the research problem is consist of or composed of the three important factors, and these are title, objectives, and variable. It means that this is the identification of the research problem is means that we have to know that what is the title, how, and objective, and the variables. So now we have to focus on the composed factor of the identification of the research problem. The first important factor of the identification of the research problem is first is the title. Title, here we are knowing that the nature of the title, what are the basic requirements of the title, what are the contents of the titles. So through this title we will get and a simple ideas how the title should be. So title should be broad versus narrow, and narrow versus specific. It is a very important concept. Your title should be very specific. Broad versus narrow, and narrow versus specific. Each title is statement. Each title is a statement, and so should not be used full stop. There is no permission to use the full stop in our title. The next one is that no permission to use the single or double inverted comma in title. We never get the direction from the title, and so never start the title with to. But we will get the direction from the objective, and that's why every object start from the to. But in title there is no permission to use the to, because we never get the direction from the title. The next point is that no need to use redundant, means unuseful words which can't change the meaning of the titles. So we have to avoid such redundant words, because you know that in so many research institutions there is a limitations of the words. So that time we have to avoid such a redundant words. Title should be a mini abstract or quick picture of the key ideas. And very important thing is that in every title, variable or the original concept, population of study, and the types of study should be present. If suppose in our title, there is no original concept or the variables, it means that there are something wrong. So we have to think in that way. I'll give the one example of one research topic, a study on emerging room conflict among the wives of suicide committed farmers in Marathwada. We, we, I want to check it. I have told that in our title, variable or the original concept, population of the study and the types of study is very essential. So we will check through this title. A study on means it presents the survey study. Emerging on role conflict. Role conflict is the original concept or the variables. Among the wives of suicide committed farmers. Wives are the population of the study, means very respondents. And in Marathwada, it means the study area where we are conducting the research, that is the study area. It means that we have to take care of each and everything, because whenever we can apply our research project to a very reputed institute, that time they will check each and everything very minutely. And that's why title should be clear, unambiguous, and not cute. These are the main important conditions. And I have, at last, whenever I acknowledge, that time I say that who are my guide, who provided, who are giving me who guide me, then regarding such knowledge, I refer that. But now this is the title. And here I'll provide one example, how to frame a title. I'll just give one example. Suppose number one title we are framing, just like a study of effectiveness. A study of effectiveness. This is the one title. We can say that this title is too narrow and vague and unclear. This is the one number. Number two, again same, a study of effectiveness of web-based material. A study of effectiveness of web-based material. This title is also little bit narrow. Third one, if a study of effectiveness of web-based material on the basis of reasoning and full stop. This is also wrong title. Fourth, effectiveness, a study of effectiveness of web-based material on the basis of reasoning of student. This title presents that suitable only for the online data. And last one is that effectiveness of web-based material on the basis of reasoning of college student of Maharashtra, and it is more authentic, more accurate, and it presents the all things. So just I have provided one example already, that the PPT is available. I have submitted to the college, but okay, at last we will just again revise it. So this is the one important factor of the identification of the problem, and we'll learn that how the title should be. Now second thing is that objectives. Objective is also the important part of the identification of the research problem. Now we get the direction from our research objectives, and hence we have to start every objective from the two. But one thing is very important. Whenever we will start our objectives, we have to start our objective in a different manner, like as to know, to understand, to recognize, to achieve, to obtain, to check, to recognize, to identify. Like that, we have to use these different words every time. Otherwise, many times I have seen that one person are using saying that to understand. So this is not the correct pattern. Now, next is that every research objective should be correlated and interrelated. Suppose in your research, there are 3 objectives are there. And these out of 3, one research objective is not correlated with the 2. It means that you have to spend a lot of time for collecting data on a 3rd objective, and it will take near about half and more time or energy on that particular objective, and it is unuseful again. So whenever the correlated objectives are there, we can take, or we can just take the test correlation chi-square very accurately. So that's why we have to select such objective which are correlated and interrelated with each other. If suppose one is very close to each other, then we will get very beneficial and we will get the good results regarding that objective. Now, one style which I learned from my mentors, and this is, I want to say that we should use the word mean score of, MEAN, score SCORE, and OF, mean score of in objective. I'll give them an example. To understand the means, I'll give the one example is that to know the mean score of educated and non-educated of women's. To understand the mean score of educated and non-educated women's role conflict. This is one example. Now, here I use the mean score of. Mean score of means what? It is a one style. It is used in JNU, in a reputed foreign countries, university. And what is meant by the mean score? Mean score of words indicate that the percentage or the average between the educated and non-educated women. Means already whenever we calculate, whenever we are making the chart of the tables, we are just giving the percentage or the average, but we are not using the word mean score of. So in our objective, we should use the mean score of. And in so many reputed university, these expert people are using the mean score of the words. And so it is very important. Now, next is the objective must be pinpoint. And 3 to 4 objectives are quite enough for the PhD. So these are the very important points regarding the objectives. In this way, in identification of the research problem, I first of all focus on the title. Second one is the objective. And now I want to focus on the third, that is the variables. This is the very important factor, variables. So what is the meaning of the variables? Because it is very essential to know that, because many of them are unknown about. But I know that all experts are very expert in their field, and they know that, but it's my duty to provide or to give a very minutely everything. So meaning of the variable indicates varies in the values. They are varied from each other, varies in the values. And second important meaning of variable, a characteristics which can change with respect to place, time, and person is called as the variable. So these are the meaning of the variables. Now second one is that dimensions. There are 2 dimensions of the variable, one-dimensional variable and multi-dimensional variables. One-dimensional variables means like as age, weight, marital status, like that. And multidimensional variables means role conflict, approach, perspectives, because it is multidimensional. Now, types of the variables. Based on the position of the variables and occupies in the research study, there are so many variables, types of the variables. One is dependent and independent variable. Dependent variables means what? Dependent variable is the effect or is the result or the outcome of another variable is called as the dependent variable. And independent variable means independent variable is the cause variable which identifies forces or condition that act on something. So in this way, dependent and interdependent variables are there. I'll give one example and we will just know that how the dependent and independent variables are there. Just like as the income and expenditure. Now, income is independent variables and expenditure is the dependent variables. In a scientific way, we can say that income is the precedent variables or expenditure is the antecedent variables. It means that cause and effect in expenditure and the income, there is a cause-effect relationship is there. Means income effect on the expenditure. If income increase, the expenditure will increase. Cause and effect. And income impact on the expenditure. And that's why income is the independent variables and expenditure is the dependent variables. Now, second variables is that second type, discrete and the continuous variables. But what is meant by the discrete and what is meant by the continuous variables? Discrete means when the category ends by itself before the next category is called as the discrete variables. Means just like as the gender is a one variables, we can say that gender is a discrete variables. And in the gender, male, female, or third gender like that. And this males category ends by itself before the next category. We can't say that this is the male and a percentage of 10% female like that. Male means male, female means female. This category ends by itself before the next category. And it is called as the discrete variables, like at the genders. Then second, numbers of the children, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But no one can say 1.2 childs, 2.3 childs, no one can say. Means one category ends by itself before the next category. And this is called as the discrete variables. And next variable is the continuous variables. Continuous means what? When there is a fractional values in the range is called as the continuous variables. Fractional value is the very important characters of the continuous variables. Just like the weight of any person, 55, 56, 55.4, 56.4, 58.9, we can see that. And it is called as the continuous variables. So these are the variables. One is the dependent and independent variables. discrete and the continuous variables. And now so many variables. I'll take one reference. That reference is considered with the Alan Freeman, the Social Research Method, 4th edition book, Oxford University Press, and page number 335 and page number 48. Through this book, this book is also very reputed. And in this book, this theorist has focused another 4 variables: nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. But I'm very happy to share my one thing is that, dear delegates, nominal level, ordinal level, interval level, and ratio level, these are originally scales of the measurement. But nowadays, now these reputed books, these are also included as variables. So first of all, I want to focus on the scales of measurement, and I'll describe to you how they are converted into variables. Dear delegates, as you know that everyone or every researcher collect the data in the form of the 4. Means the data is, whenever we are saying this is entire data, this entire data is converted into the 4 important factor. One time is the nominal level data, ordinal level, interval, and ratio level. This nominal and ordinal level data, in a statistical language, it is a poor data, and the interval and ratio level data is very strong data. Again, there is one question: why this is the poor and the strong? Because with the help of the interval level data and the ratio level data, we can take the very rich statistical test like as the correlation, chi-square, one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA, F-test, Z-test, like that. And that's why these are the real, original, or strong data. But nominal and ordinal level, through these data, we can't conduct the rich statistical test. And so, these labels now in a reputed books are considered as a types of the variables. So nominal level. So what is the nominal level? I'll give the one example. Male and female again. These names are mutually exclusive. Male and female are very separated with each other. They are showing their different characters, mutually exclusive. So this is the nominal level data. And this nominal level data, we can classify it and we can count it. These are the 10 numbers of male and 5 numbers female, like that, male, female, like that. Means we can classify, these are the male and these are the females, and we can count, and this is the nominal. Now second is that ordinal level data or the ordinal level variables. Means whenever your data is available in the form of the order, in the form of the rank, or in the form of the strata. I'll give the one example. The education level, 10 to 12, then graduate and post-graduation, these are the orders. Through these data, we can again classify 10 pass student, 12 pass student, graduate, like that. Count, we can count them. and we will give the rank. The 12th, this is the ranks, first rank, second rank, third rank, like that. These are the rank or the orders. And now third interval level. In the interval level, 0 has a meaning. Like as the temperature. Temperature, whenever we are saying that the temperature is 0, temperature is minus, it indicates some value. And so in the interval level, the 0 has values. 0 has a particular very meaning, and this is the interval level. These interval level variables we can classify, we can count, rank, and find out the differences between the two categories. Temperature 10 to 15 and 15 to 20. We can just say that these are the difference between the two categories. And last one is that ratio level. 0 is fixed and it is meaningless. No one can say that my weight is 0, my height is 0. It means that ratio level variables. But this is the very strong variable which provides the very strong data. Just like the one person's age is 46 years, one person's weight is 62 kilograms. It means that the ratio level provide a very strong data, and with the help of this strong data, we are able to conduct a very strong statistical test. In this way, these are the nominal variable, ordinal variable, interval variable, and ratio level variable, means ratio variable. These are concerned with the Alan Green's book. So here again I just take the revise. First of all, we focused on one important factor, how to select the research topic or the subject. We have take support of the Bernard, T. and Madan, S. Joberg and Nate. And with the help of this theorist, we will get an idea how to select the research topic or the subject. Then we focused on the identification of the research problem. Why it is needed? What are the basic factors? How to improve our research problem with the help of the field practitioners, literature review, and the NGOs, and with the, as well as we certain points keep in mind how to focus on a particular important points, and we consider certain guidelines, and then we focus on the three important factors, which are the components, which are the important factors. With the help of that three factor, the identification of the research problem is available. And these are the titles. How to frame the title, how to take the precautions, which things are very essential in the title. Then objective, how to frame the objectives, which conditions or guidelines we have to follow in the objectives, and then variables, types of the variables. Variables means what? We need dimensionals, multidimensional, single dimensionals. These are the variables and the types of the variables. And again, these variables, title and objective, with the help of, we focus on the identification of the research problem. And so I request to all the delegates, whenever we conduct any research, this is the research first step. If suppose we are very fruitfulness regarding the research problem or the research topics, means we are very fulfill the all requirements of the topic or the subject or the problems. It means that we will get a new direction, new insight, and we can complete our research in a particular time. And we will get energy, we will get confidence, and this research will provide again name, fame, and everything. So this is the identification of the research problem. And one important factor I want to share with why I have focused in a very critical, very sensitive topic, because I have learned from my mentors, my guides, like as one is the Rashmi Mehtani. She spent her 36 years in the TISS and she is the pioneer of the qualitative research. I have learned so many things from her. Then Dr. Sharad Kumar, who was the director of the Research Institute Nirmala Niketan. I spent near about 2-3 years and I have learned a lot. Then Dr. D.N. Sansavar from the Australia, who is the very famous all over the world, because first time in the India, he just he got the patent of the SPSS and the research, and near about in 1981 or 1991. And Dr. Sansaval has given me so many things, guidance, and under his guidance, I learned so many small things. Then Dr. Daniel Fass from the Trinity College, Norway. Then my guide, the director, Dr. Eni Ghanesham sir from the Swami Ramananda Tirtha Marathwada University. Just he got a research institute in Kinvat. Then my mentor, Dr. Mansi Baudekar and Dr. Vatika Sibal. From this mentor, I learned so many things. And today, I have shared my idea as a symbol. If you learn a new things from me and you have some enough confidence that these are the very right things, it means it is the credit of my mentor and my gurus. And if suppose I am unable to explain any things, it means it's my failure, because I want to learn so many things. But I have tried, because I know that this is the research subject. We have to take care of each and every words very scientifically. It is not the just generally we just comment on, but we have to take care of every words, and very consciously we have to use in a particular place. So through this session, I have focused on the selection of the research topic, identification of the research problem, and the composed title, objective variables, and the acknowledge and the variables. So thanks to all.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. Candidates, we can start with our question answer session.
Yes, ma'am.
You can post your questions in the chat box. I will read it out for you.
Yes, ma'am. And I request all the delegates, they can ask the question in Marathi, Hindi, and English, any language, please.
Okay, there are few questions already asked, sir. Can we start our research title with A?
With
A.
A.
Alphabet A.
Acha. Okay, we can start. Yes. A study of, yes. We can start.
Okay. Okay, the next question is objectives are correlated with other objectives or topics.
Objectives are related with topic.
Cor correlated with other objectives or topics.
Correlated with objective only. Correlation between them
Objectives.
only.
Okay. So can it any other questions kindly post in the chat box? Sir, is there any guidelines for number of words to be used in titles?
Yes. Okay. The numbers of the words in the title as per the university, as per the research institute. If you go in every institute, research institutes, they will provide the different guidelines, just like ICSSR, then University Grant Commission, then Stride, then Empress. They have their own different guidelines. So we have to follow different guidelines.
How long can be the title be?
Law.
Long.
Acha. How long? First of all, it is very essential. We have to focus on the important 3 or 4 things. First of all, we have to, our variables or the original concept is very essential in your title, our research area, and these are the 1, 2, 3 important things. Then why should we use the more words? Because we have to avoid which don't have the meaning. We have to avoid such words, because whenever, I'll just give the one example, whenever we can just apply for the major research project, many times these committee will check the how many words are there, and they have the meaning. So many words whenever are unuseful, they just avoid. Means they will know that how the researcher is like that. Means we are presenting through the words. So we have to follow that limitations of the words and the meaning. Because three things more important in that any title.
Okay. Sir, how many objectives need to be created, minimum or maximum?
Minimum 3 or 4 is quite enough.
Okay. Next question is, how many variables should be in the title of PhD thesis?
Achha, variables.
Huh.
Question is very okay. I'll give the one example. Variables is important, but through the variables we are framing our questionnaires. So first of all, focus on how many questions are framing in your questioning, because questions, and if suppose it is again regarding your guide, again regarding your university, how they are just giving the guidelines to you, but there are some limitations. Whenever you are fulfilling your objective through the questionnaire, it is quite enough. No need to framing the more and more questions.
Okay. So you said about 3 factors to be considered for identification of problems. So what are the 3 factors?
Title, objectives, and variables.
Okay. So after entrance exam, how the guide is provided to you and how and when synopsis has to be prepared?
This is a very different questions.
Yes.
But one thing is that whenever we will get the very proper ideas regarding our topic and the research subject or research questions, and we will know the what is the how the title is that objective and variables, then we will get everything, because everything is depend on that. And then next part is that hypothesis and statistical test. But it is the very basic important thing, because many researchers are unknown about the variables, title and objective, and this is the very basic and very essential part. On the basis of that title, objective and variables, we can build up our each and every other research, or remaining part of the research. So this is the essential part.
Okay, sir. One more question is there. What about hypothesis? Its importance in research.
Okay. Um, First of all, I want to say very honestly, it is not the part of my subject, but I want to share. Hypothesis is an optional step. It is not the compulsory step. And I want to say that hypothesis means the intelligent guess or conjectural statement. What is meant by it? Intelligent guess means if you have selected one topic and sufficient quantitative data is available, on the basis of that available data, we can take the test, statistical test, and through this test, we have to prove that hypothesis, null hypothesis, or like that. But if suppose in your research topic or subject, the statistical intelligent means statistical enough data is not available, we can't conduct or we can't frame the hypothesis. And that's why I'm saying that the hypothesis is an optional step. It is not compulsory. I'll give again one example. Um, my PhD subject is that emerging role conflict among the suicide committed farmers' wives in Marathwada. In my research, hypothesis was not there. Why? Because in 2011, I was alone in Maharashtra who focused on the suicide committed farmers' wives and their role conflict. And statistical data was not available. And that's why it is impossible to conjectural statement or do or intelligent. It is not possible to just guess intelligent guess. And that's why it in my research hypothesis was not there. And that's why I'm saying that hypothesis is an optional step. So first of all, keep in mind what is the hypothesis? It is a conjectural statement and it is an intelligent guess. Yes, ma'am.
So next question is, there is a participant. He's saying he's not able to decide in which area he should do the research. So what should be done?
Ma'am, please pardon me. Please revise. I didn't get.
Okay. He's like he want to decide in which area he has to do the research. So he's not able to decide that.
Oh, but I can't help her. How I can help her? Because I'm saying that it is your interest area. We have to think in that way. It is just come from your mind, interest, motivation. And how I can say, yeah, yes, you just go in the field and please conduct your research. So it is not.
Okay. There is one more question. Can you provide more information about words used in redundant words used in title? It will be very helpful if you can give more example. One more example.
It's a one trick is that, ma'am. One important trick. I just want to share that. One thing is that whenever in my title, the research study area, then concept and the respondent, other than all these things are not useful. So keep in mind, first of all, we have to put three things: research area, respondent and concept, and then frame the title. And then we have to decide these are the unuseful. It is a very simple trick.
Okay, one more question, sir. In literary research, is the statistical data and tests are required? Is it compulsory for a thesis?
Again, sorry, ma'am, please. Again, please revise me, please. I didn't get
In okay, in literary research, okay,
in
is
literary.
statistical, is statistical data and tests are required? And is it compulsory for a thesis that doing statistical data and test?
Because but I heard that in a literature there is no need to statistical data or analysis of the static data, because literature is it purely qualitative, it is narrative, and so no need of the statistical data or analysis.
Okay.
As per my knowledge.
One more question. Okay. One more question, sir. What is the biggest challenge in research process?
Biggest. There are so many challenges. First of all, we should very honest with ourselves. Okay, I want to conduct a research. Number one, if I'm getting the energy and confidence through the research, then we can just go ahead. Third, we have to select such references or books which is very reputed, very authentic, and avoid to read the local books, because through the authentic books we will get insight and ideas and originality. And if suppose you want to conduct, if you want to be a rich academically, economically, then you will get hundreds of the opportunity, but it is depend upon us. And we have to ask the question to yourself, yes, am I capable? I'm really honest with my study, with my research. I'm capable to go on field. I can spend 2-3 years on the field. So is the questions, whether questions are the positive, then you can conduct. Otherwise, there are so many. Because if you are completing the research, you will get the increment. It is not enough, because you are spending 2-3 years, means ma'am, it is a valuable time of our life. So we have to decide in that way. Yeah, I'm really honest with my duty, I'm really interested in research, then you spend the time, otherwise not.
Okay, so questions are over. Rest are comments like very interesting session, very impressive sessions, nice presentation. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Rohini ma'am, move towards vote of thanks.
Now I would like to Kirti ma'am. I would like to request Kirti ma'am again to give a vote of thanks. Over to Kirti miss.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. I, on behalf of Matoshri K.M. Patel, Senior College of Commerce and Science, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to Dr. Surendra Thakur sir for contributing his valuable time and gracing the webinar with your experience and incredible knowledge. I extend my vote of thanks to all participants for attending the day one webinar. I would also thank our management for immense supports that we receive for arranging any such activities. A special mention to our Honorable Vice Principal Ma'am, Ms. Madhuri Nandanwal, for being the spark that stimulate us to do our best and standing as a pillar of strength. My sincere gratitude goes to all our HODs for your rock solid support system and encouragement. With a deep sense of appreciation, I would extend my thanks to all my loving faculty members for their untiring efforts and supports. Finally, I would like to thank the people who worked behind the scene to make the Day 1 webinar work smoothly. Thank you.